Yeah, and a lot of time when we drive with a car, for example, we make some brake tests on the track in Weissach, and I drive with a car, or I have a driver. Norbert Singer comes from the wind tunnel and say, I have an idea, can we make that in your car? And you bring an aluminium blade, it looks like a corkscrew, and we put that in the car, and then go 5 laps, and really if you come back and say, it's more downforce, or more oversteer or less oversteer, then he was quite happy, then he's smiling, go back into the wind tunnel. And at this time I learned also how important it's a pitot. You know the pitot?
Pitot tube?
Yeah, the pitot tube, because in Ricard especially, you have the Mistral. Mistral, it's a wind from the Mar,
Yes.
from the water.
Yes.
And sometimes it's very strong,
Yeah.
so you drive the next day and you lose 0.5 of a second lap time, and especially you lose 10 k's or 15 k's of top speed. So before you are completely destroyed, you say the engine is broken and you lose some horsepower. But with a pitot, it's easy to see the same wind speed. So the same wind speed means the same top speed, because the wind, it's that what the car stopped to go 800 kilometer speed. So that's the story, I think, of the downforce and the business what you spent the car, and it was a lot of time and a lot of money. But then the Group C was a big step, and we beat everybody a long time. Then later everybody know then the downforce is more and more and more important. And for example in Le Mans with a long way, the Hunandière, it's the name of the straight from the last corner to Mulsanne without chicanes, and there was a time of 380 or whatever. Also in this time, Norbert Singer and myself, we were sure from the simulation a little bit that the short car, the short tail with downforce was the faster one for qualifying and maybe also the race, but nobody can handle that 24 hours. It's a big lateral G, and you cannot use it 24 hours because it's over what you can bring with your body. Yeah, it's a steering wheel. We talk about it later. That the steering wheel
so heavy.
It was so heavy, and the brake you need 10 kilo more or whatever, and that was the reason that we say the power of the engine you can use it 24 hours, because so I pedal down to the floor, that's easy. Yeah. But if you have a lot of downforce, it's also when you have always 3G lateral, it's also difficult for the head, for example, with the helm on, and also for the concentration. When you have a lot of power always in the body, then it's hard for the driver physically and psychically. It's not only the body, it's also in the head.
Yes, for sure.
And so in Le Mans we have always a complete different bodywork. It's a long-tailed car. And we tried it sometimes in Monza in a high-speed tracks, but then you lose too much without the big downforce from the short one.
So the long tail was good because it reduced the downforce.
Yeah. And
so there was less drag.
And the track was a lot better.
Yeah.
So with a short one in Le Mans, you go, I think 20 k's slower or 25 k's, a lot, because downforce produces track.
So Tête Rouge was an aero turn, but The Mulsanne corner is not an arrow turn. Indianapolis is not an arrow turn. Arnage is not an arrow turn.
Yeah, the Porsche corners.
Porsche corners, yeah.
But then the Ford chicane and this is not downforce points.
Yeah, so you just
So you win a lot of. You have a lot. In the old days, you have the long straight.
yeah.
It was about 6 k's long, and then from Mulsanne back to Indianapolis was 2 k's. And then after the Porsche chicane was straight, and the start finish was a straight.
Yeah.
So especially if you have only Chucky X guys in the wheel, 3 Chucky X in the car,
Yeah.
then maybe you can try that with a short one, and you say, okay, it's still working, but you have a Derek Bell in the car and whatever, and it's a little bit not so good as Chucky,
Yeah.
and not so stable from the bodywork and so, and then you lose with a second driver a lot more time, and maybe the driver break down after 15 hours or something like that. So it was clear in Le Mans you must go with a long tail, makes the job easier for the driver, and the lap time it's a little bit slow, but you are fast over 24 hours on the same level. With a short one, I'm sure at the beginning you was here from the lap time, and then depends on the driver and so on, goes down and down and down. So that was the reason that we have a long and a short one. And the long one, the long tail was not only the tail, not only the part in the back, it was also the front, it was the underfloor, because it's not the right way when you make only less downforce than the rear. He never got back. So the complete car, from the underfloor, from the nose, was all changed. The diffuser was different. Only the monocoque and the driver housing, it was not a lot, because the front start in here and the tail start here, so it was only a small area to have the same car. So we rebuilt the car with all the parts off, and then you make the Le Mans stuff, and it was 2 days or something like that, the car was changed. But in the wind tunnel, it's
So it would take 2 days to change the car from the
short to the
to
long,
the
one.
long to, yeah. Did you change the
Yeah,
box there? Because
Yeah.
I remember when you sat in the car, there was that.
yeah,
The
you
floor
change
was-
that, and also in front, the nose, normally it looks, the front nose like that, and here's the lights, and in the middle you go a little bit up and have more radius here, you know.
Yes.
It's more radius to bring more air to the underfloor, and for Le Mans we have also changed completely that. We have a bigger radius or smaller radius to reduce the downforce. Because in Le Mans you will not have so much air below the car, then it's wrong for the track, because also the underfloor make a lot of track, because you have the suspension arms and you have the wheels for sure. And what we never have in Weissach, we changed the wind tunnel now. Maybe next year we have a new one with turning wheels. With Group C was not so important, because the wheels are inside of the body. But with the Indy, you need the turning wheels, because that change a lot of Formula 1. And you see in Formula 1 you have thin axles to the wheel, and it turns the wheels, and the car is on a top mountain. And in Weissach we are on a gauge
Yeah.
to see the downforce on the wheel.
Yeah.
You cannot turn the wheel because it doesn't work. That was a story of aerodynamic first, but for me it was really good. because I learned a lot from the Group C car with Norbert Singer for my future. To know it's also important in GT3 and the straight car we start to make a spoiler in the rear, we make a wing in the rear, we make the nose in the front for more downforce, and so it was a point for my future.